Well, good morning. You join us again at another lake we've managed to gain access to. This time we're at Lily's Lake, which is part of the RG Fisheries Complex. What a place. We've had a quick walk round. There's a few swims on this lake. It's actually broken up by an old bridge that goes into a second part of the lake. Now, one of the guys who runs it has put us onto some lovely little areas. He's shown us the lake, the complex, the actual route down, so they couldn't have looked after us any better. So what we will be doing now is having a secondary walk around the lake. We've had a look in some nice, likely looking areas amongst the pads. It's absolutely round with them. This is my kind of fishing. I know George likes long distance. I love little estate lakes like this with pokey holes, overhanging trees, willows and such like. That's my kind of fishing. Doesn't suit everyone, but for me, that's kind of my ideal lake. We will be going through some bait products in a little while. We've got CC More supporting us once again, which is brilliant. We're on feed stim, we're using halibut pellets and feed stim XP. That goes everywhere with me. If you follow us around, then we'll show you where we're looking at. Well, what I can show you now is the mix we're going to be using over the next 48 hours will be this. Pro Stim 10 mils and halibut pellets. Doesn't get much easier to bait with or getting fish competitively feeding, which is what we want. It's not massively stocked this lake, so what we're trying to do is pick some fish off and intercept them between lily pads and overhanging branches. This is what we're going to use. There is a liquid we put on it later on as well. I'll show you that in a little while, but it won't come to anyone as any surprise. It's Feed Stim XP. If I fall in now, it's your fault. Soft. Oh no, that's not. That's soft silt. I think there's a little bit of clay, but the silt isn't a problem really. Right, good. There's nothing that scares me over there. Getting a nice little drop. That is a nice little area that Matt told us about, so I'm never going to not listen to one of the fishery managers. When they fished here for so many years, they've clearly had fish out of these areas, and it feels really nice now. So you can feel there's a firm bottom under just some light silt, so that's easy to present, very easy to present. We're at 17 on here. A little bit further than the other one, but then it goes in between some pads, so it's a nice softer area just off the harder patch. You don't want to land bang on the hard patch. And that's 17 with the drop on there is quite good. Happy. We'll get some bait on there and then we'll wait and see what comes along. So the bait for today is the same as I always use really. It's become very easy. Pro Stim, because it just works. I'm not fussed which I use. I've got the XXX mixed up in there from before. Pro Stim will go in. There's some 10 mils going in there. We've also, one of my favourites is dumbbells. You don't get a lot of people using these, which surprises me quite a lot. You can use these straight out the bag on the hook. No one does that anymore. It just seems a bit of a lost art. We seem to buy so many pop-up tubs and everything, but you'll never use just one of these. Yes, all the other tubs and bits and pieces have their place, but I find the results on these are quite good, maybe with something tipping it, like a bit of fake corn. One of the other things that's regular to go in here, halibut pellets. Obviously in the winter you don't want to be using these, but autumn, summer and autumn, these are great. People don't fish them. You can fish those on the hair as well, but there's also the dedicated halibut hook baits they now do. Absolutely amazing bits of kit. And to top it off, this. Now this has been around for years. FeedStim XP, I've used it for well over a decade. I can't say it makes a massive difference, but I can't say it doesn't work against me either, because it's going in there and I catch fish. That's all I can go with. It suits my type of angling, light liquids, and PVA friendly. You can use it all through the winter. I will occasionally add hemp oil. Again, if you're fishing at distance, you'll get flat spots. You'll see if you're getting picked up. It will give you a bit of a visual reference as well. Next thing to do, clip the spod up, get some bait in, and then sit on your hands for a little while and just trickle little bits. I'm not going wild. I'm putting 4 spods over each spot. That's it. From then, we'll just top it up as needed and as you feel right. It's not a massively stocked venue, so we're not going to be piling it in looking for a big hit. We're trying to pull fish down and maybe catch 1 or 2 fish if we're lucky. So clip the spod up and we'll be out again. And the big rocket coming towards you. Pew. Right, are you happy? Well, me neither, because I've forgotten where I was casting. Right, are you ready? Dog. That landed really well. And that's all I've got to worry about is good drop, bait on it, has landed right on top of where the bait went. Now it's down to the fish to play ball. That may be the problem. Well, that was interesting. I don't know if you can pick it up. That line was in a clip and the bobbin was on. Something's just slammed it. Maybe something's hit the line and pulled it. It's not pulled again. So what I'll do is I'll reset everything and just see if there's anything on there. If there is, it should really pull. I think something may have got away with it, but hey, things are looking up. If there's fish over there doing that, I'm happy, I'm comfortable. At least we know we're fishing. That's just wind pulling out at the moment, but that's good occurrence. Right, sit back down.
I've had an invite to this little estate lake in Kent, and it's a great place to start telling you something about something really, really excited coming in 2025. So this next couple of days, me and Neal are going to be going through some really new and exciting products that we're going to be launching in 2025. Now, we've already been working for the last year or so on this, and last week we took delivery of our first lot of samples. We're going to take you on the journey of our testing, our deliberation on what we want to bring out and what we don't want to bring out. We want to show you exactly what goes into sampling some of this new exciting gear for 2025. So stay with us, stay tuned, and see how we go through the testing process on what we have launching late next year. So just before I go and see Neal, actually, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to just chuck a little bit of bait in on some spots. Just while I've pulled the rods in, just leave a little bit of bait out, and you never know, fish might get on it whilst I'm having a good old catch up with Neal. And want to get the rods out again later on. Fish might become comfortable feeding on that spot, and I'll pick up a quick bite. So that's one spot done. Just a couple of handfuls of bait, and I'm going to go bait up a second one. Well, I've finally got round to Neal with a cup of tea, and I've brought round a very special package that we received earlier this month. So coming in 2025, we have something really, really special coming. It's the first time that Neal and I are looking at all the samples, and we want to take you on that journey from receiving our first lot of samples to product testing to launch. We want you to know, and we want to be completely honest and transparent with you on exactly what we're testing, how we're testing it, and what's good and what's bad, and what we're going to be releasing later on in 2025. So this is the first time Neal and I are going to dive in to having a look at what has just been delivered. Let's take a look. Right, okay, so diving straight in then. So first things that we've got on sample are PVA bags. We've got two different types here. You have a look at those. So we've got loads and loads of different, so as Neal's going through those, we've got loads and loads of different samples here. So we've got about 50 to 60 different samples that we've received over the course of the last month or so, all from different suppliers, and now is the opportunity for us to go through and start actually having a look at the initial sampling. Where we are today fishing is a fantastic venue, but the next stage of this testing will be at a Runswater. So we're going to book in a session at a local lake, just where we can go and catch loads and loads of carp and really put these products through its paces. Followed by that, we're also going to do a little bit of underwater filming as well, so we can see how the products behave underwater, how fish sort of approach them, and then we've obviously got the tank as well. We want to see how they sort of look and sit underwater. So solid bags.
Good, I like it. There's two different variants. So you've got the larger, that's kind of a stock classed as small, I think.
Yeah.
Like a 60 by about 130. Seem reasonably strong. These are a very micro bag.
So the difference between them two on the samples, you've got seam running down the side,
yep,
and then you've got seam at the bottom. Straight away, I think I prefer the.
I'm not offended by either of them really. It's a get them going, fill them, just see what they're like. Again, you'll find with some PVA bags, I think someone's mentioned it before, they taste. So we'll seal some up in a minute with something, see what they're like,
to go with that,
and then we'll drop them in the tank. But yeah, that's the initial, I guess it's the same old thing, is it, are they strong enough?
Yeah.
Depends if they split.
Oh, I like that. If I can find
PVA
it.
tape.
PVA tape, but look at that, I've not seen tape like that before.
There you go, look at the pressure on that bag.
Oh yeah, that's stretching like nobody's business.
That's trying to break it.
Yeah, go on, break it. How much can you go?
I was trying.
It's as strong as you can go. Okay,
So
we'll
that's
eventually
torn,
go.
it hasn't gone at a seam. So again, it's all solid.
Well, look at that tape as well.
Again,
Wow.
we'll see what happens with that.
So initial impressions of the PVA stuff.
The
pretty
PVA's good. So if you've got something to put in here, we'll seal a couple up
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some pellet and that.
and then
We
just
can
see
make some
how
roofs.
tight we can get a bag. Because obviously if you look at any of the instructions or anything anyone's ever done with PVA bags, you need to make them, if you want to cast them any distance with accuracy, they've got to be drum tight. So
Oh, we grabbed that out of the tank for Mercs all the water.
you don't want to say that about the PVA.
No. That's not too
But
bad.
that should dissolve.
Down to nothing. Okay, so in relation to PVA then, what we have
Not
got,
offended by it
So-
either of them.
one product that we have been working on, which I know you will absolutely love, Neil, if I can find them in my little box here of goodies, is a lot of places obviously have leader bands, and changing PVA bags is a headache for a lot of people. So what we've come up with is little mini booms, if I can find them amongst all this stuff. Feel free to grab them from the sim. There they are. Little mini boom sections for PVA bags.
Oh right, okay.
So a fluoro base on there, about 6 inches in length, fused at either end with a quick change swivel. So absolutely perfect for solid bags, inline lead.
Okay, we'll get a set of pullers in a minute. We'll try and break it.
Yeah.
That's
All right, well, let's do
that's
it.
kind of the ultimate thing.
I've got
isn't
one
it?
there. Billy, on top of his bivvy up there is a pair of scissors.
Right,
That's it.
excellent.
On there's a little thing. Thank you very much. Right, so
Cheers.
let's give that a go. So if I take one end and the other, what we could always try and do is do the ultimate, try and drag a car with one of these things. Wouldn't we?
If you go through the loop.
Or do you want me to go through the?
No, then we'll move the swivel. So if we just put a little bit.
Okay, so that's pretty good tension anyway.
Yeah, let's stop now. I've got
Your hand.
well, it's not that. I've got a bad feeling you're going to snap it, it'll ping and we'll lose it. But we'll have a look, see if that's got any. So there's
Looks
no
pretty good to me.
distortion on the fused link on there, which you can get if you look at some others. When you pull them, you'll get like it'll go opaque under there. You can see like the bonding delaminated. But again, they seem fine. We'll try them out again. But being that they're fluoro, they're heavy and they'll sink and they'll all but disappear in water. So
Yeah,
again, another.
nice.
I like solid bag fishing, so we'll trial and see how good they are and see what they sink like. And if you catch fish, then so be it.
Nice.
Very good quick change. This again, the thing with PVA fishing is I quite like quick change. I like prepping stuff and getting to a lake and launching it out. So
Little quick change swivels.
that'll work.
So when we've gone through our initial kind of ordering and our initial testing of stuff, one of the big bits of feedback we had was about being able to be more camouflaged to the lake bed. One of the big specs that we've done with the whole range of metalware is having everything in a matte finish. So by having everything in a matte finish as opposed to something with a glare on it means that it's just going to stay a little bit more subtle on the lake bed. So they are, you just said there, like for Ronnie rigs, swivels, quick change, that kind of thing. Again, we haven't got names for any of this stuff yet, so this is the first time we're seeing it. So part of the product testing, some of this we will take forward, some of it will develop further, and other parts of it we may not use at all. We might think it's just absolutely no good, or we might even develop it into something else. But we've got the flexibility to be able to do that. Now, I've seen a lot of people raving about these, and we've worked really hard with these. And the rubber and the matte finish on these will make life a hell of a lot easier when you're fishing something like a Ronnie a swivel rig, maybe even a pop-up to just critically balance a lot easier. So we'll show you these in detail a little bit more on how you would go about using these little things. So another whole batch of things that we've got here is leaders as well. So Neal's got a load of fuse leaders with different setups on the end. So he's got their different swivels. So while he's going through them ones, I've then got the same setups on the end, but all of these are leg core. So these are leg core leaders. Now, this is the first time we're getting these out of the packet. So this one is loop to loop on there. So we've got a metre long leader. Again, we've specced it in this really, really nice camouflage green and black fleck. And so far, I'm really impressed with that. All but being actually, it feels really, really heavy, but it doesn't actually feel that supple at the moment. So I'm not an avid leg core user, so I'm gonna have to get someone else to have a go with this and have a say on what they think of it, because I wouldn't know exactly how to expect that to be. But on first appearance, to me, that feels and looks really, really good. We'll put these under some braking strain tests as well, so we'll do braking tests, and then of course we need to start actually using the product as well. Neal, what have you got there?
So this is, I assume, the clear, their equivalent of a clear fused leader. I want to see it in the water because to me, again, it's got that opaque sort of colour, which is fine, but I'm not, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with these fused leaders, but I'm happy to be proven wrong once we try and test them and break them. For our fishing, you and I both use braid a lot, don't we? So the only problem with some of these is if you put braid on it, it does cut through, but it normally only cuts as far as the fluoro inner. So we'll have a go on these, we'll see, we'll tie some different knots, put a lot of pressure on them and see if they snap. Yeah,
so they'll be good, but I'll give them a good go. Other things we've got as well, I really like these. So we've tried coming away from the conventional setup of kickers and anti-tangle sleeves. So these we've done with a slightly fatter end, and you'll see there that we've specced it so it fits a lot better over a swivel. So as opposed to just coming into a tapered end, we've specced it so the anti-tangle sleeve stays narrow as possible, and then you can see it bulging out there, which should slide over a size 8 swivel or quick change swivel really, really well. And then we've done it in like a translucent brown with a black fleck in it to give it a little bit more of a camouflage feel to it. All part of the range is that we don't want it to be being seen obviously on the lake bed. So that's those, Neal. Have a look at those. And then matching those, kind of like I said, in conjunction with those, somewhere we've got kickers as well.
That's quite soft rubber as well, though.
Yeah.
That'll sleeve anything quite merrily, I think.
So part of the kicker range as well, we've also not only done a camouflage range, but we've done a glaring, well, I'd say call it a glaringly obvious range. So there we've got some like little grubs, bloodworm. These look really good. So these are little kickers as well. So you could either use these either in your zig fishing, or alternatively, you could just use them as an everyday, day-to-day kicker as well. So they would work really well, like a curved shank hook, something like that.
Yep, not against them.
And then one size fits all as well. So in my fishing, I actually hate having to go between different size kickers depending on what size swivel that I'm using or size hook that I'm using. We've done a one size fits all in little mini kickers in a yellow and a pink as well. So absolutely perfect for something like a rotator rig, or if you just want to add the aggression to,
Aggressiveness to your hook.
Aggressiveness to my hook, so hang on, that's it. So we've done pink and yellow as well, little rubber kickers, absolutely perfect for fitting over any size of swivel and hook, especially if you want to be using it in conjunction with like a rotator rig, or you want to be using it to add to the aggression at the sharpness and shape of your hook. So yeah, there's those as well, Neal, little rubber kickers. We've got them in pink and yellow at the moment, so we'll give them a good try. We've got little mealworms there as well, or little flies. Not too sure on them ones.
I'm not sure on those at all, really. Yeah.
No, not sure on those. Okay.
That's the first thing I've looked at and gone, maybe not.
Okay, so we'll park them to one side.
So kickers are kickers. Again, they feel soft. Again, we'll have to try them on a hook to see what they go on like, because if they pinch, then they're not really for us, are they?
D kickers as well.
Well, these are a bit of a new phenomenon, aren't they? Everyone seems to be looking at these D-rig kickers at the moment. Again, it's all about how well and easily they'll go on a hook.
So we've spec'd these as a little bit of softer rubber. So some of the other ones that we've found are really stiff rubber, and they find them really hard going over eyes of the hook and over swivels, whereas these we've done them as really soft rubber, so they should be passing over the eye a lot easier. But again, we'll trial it and we'll see how we go. There's heavier tungsten droppers. I don't know what you'd call them actually.
So these are for Ronnies. I've seen these before. So you just push these up. It's like, basically, looks like an old light bulb. You push them up over the swivel, and that's your counterbalance weight. So you can have all sorts of putty and whatever else. But again, that is a stock standard weight. You can't, I guess you could trim it if you wanted to, but you can feel the weight in the packaging. So if you feel like a few of those, you'll soon see.
Well, they're a really nice finish and they feel really heavy. So if you're looking to fish a slightly bigger pop-up and you want to make sure that it's pinned down to the lake bed, again, these are absolutely fantastic for exactly that.
And they're slotted as well, so they're not just an open cast hole in there, they're slotted, so it will fit perfectly. I like those.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the winners, along with the stems again for me.
So something else big in my fishing, Neal touched on it earlier on in the session. Neal absolutely loves venues like this, little estate lakes, or little underarm flicks, a little bit more stealthily, but I actually love my big gravel pit fishing and casting at range. And one thing that I love to fish on those types of venue is a rotator / Ronnie rig. And the problem that I have a lot of the time is when you're casting at range is the hook beads sliding down the hook and your hook bait then be positioned in the wrong place. So we wanted to have a hook bead that was guaranteed not to move. And these should eliminate that from happening. They're really tight, fit really snug to the hook, and are really, really grippy. So I'll be really keen to start testing these and seeing if we can get them to move or not. But they're the hook beads, new hook beads. Slightly different in shape, and they aid in having that little bit of extra grip on the hook to stop the hook bait from moving. So I'm keen to give them a go. And that then leads me nicely onto hooks. Now we have got loads and loads of different types of hook here, loads of different patterns, finishes and sizes as well. So this is just merely going to be a case of now trialing, going through all the different variations before we start ordering en masse loads and loads of different hooks to actually start testing. So these are just the initial samples that we've had come through. Easy as far much to say, some of them, whilst Neal's having a look at them ones, let me show you, these ones have got a brown tinge to them. So we've got loads and loads of different finishes. We've got green ones, brown ones, matte finish, PTFE, some are coated, uncoated, and some even have like a matte finish to them as well. Super, super sharp. Really nice hooks, and I'm sure these are going to be absolutely bonzo. But this is all part of the testing process. These are our initial samples. We're going to go through them, find out what we like, don't like, and then we're going to put on order a whole series of them so we can put them into the testing phase. But so far, the samples look very, very promising.
I think what we need to say also is we're not just blindly going to order every single thing that you see on the market. It will be what we will use and what we're happy with, because there's no point me telling you to use a hook pattern or something that I wouldn't use myself. Absolutely biggest waste of time for everyone, I think. We all fish in our own ways. We tend to gravitate towards what we like, what we used to. We will vary a little bit, but again, it's a suck it and see. We'll try them out on, let's say, a runs water to get a feel for it. Obviously that's not what everyone does, but that's the best way of testing it, is put it in a real life situation and then give it a year's worth of testing, and then we'll see where we are with it.
So we've got a small team ahead of us. that has kindly volunteered to be able to start testing kit. We've got some big names within that as well. Some anglers that are going to be out in the bank day in, day out, putting all the kit through its paces. And like Neal just said, we're going to be heading to some runs waters, putting this really through its paces, as well as big venues like this where we're going after 40 pound plus carp and really testing it. We've got a couple of sessions coming up, one at Cassian and another one out into the Alps as well, where we're putting it through some extreme conditions. But so far, so good. So this is one of the hook links. This is, I believe this is the 25 pound in a green. So far, I quite like that. That's quite good. Now let's have a look how well it strips down. So for me, yeah, okay, nice. So that strips out quite well. One of the key tests within this is to tie a knot within the actual, so let's tie an overhand knot in the coated section and see if it splits. This will be a key test. The last thing we want is a hook link that is going to split under a knot. So we've got the knot there. Let's bed that down. So I pulled that really, really tight. Let's cut away a tag end. Okay, so this is where the real test is. Is it going to split? No. So, first knot with a new hook link, it's not going to split. And also that feels nice and heavy, but at the same time, it's just rolling over my fingers, which tells me that it's quite supple as well. So I'll be keen to give that a good test in the fish tank and see what it looks like on the lake bed. So while Neal's having a play with that, we've also got the standard thing, shrink tube. Again, we've spec'd these a little bit different, some different sorts of colours, including clear as well. I'm keen to give clear a go. Like I said at the beginning, one of the things that's really important to us is camouflage, and there's nothing better than having something clear on the lake bed. So we've got clear shrink tubing, we've also got clear boilie stops, we've got fluorocarbon hook links as well in different break-in strange, clear anti-tangle sleeves. You kind of get the theme here. So I think next up what we'll do is we've also got, in fact I've just seen there as well, some another hook link material. This is an uncoated braid. Again, really nice fleck within that, so it'll be really camouflage. We've got that in a green, brown and a silk black, so we'll give all of them a trial. I think next thing is to actually tie some rigs up and have a look to see what they look like in a fish tank.
So we were rudely interrupted. I'm not going to say rudely because I'd prefer to be catching fish than talking to George. But we were trying the TT tackle out, tying a few bits and pieces, and I've lobbed one out, a new rig with a few new items on it, just more as a bit of a prospectus than anything. And this is the one that went off. So we'll wait and see. We'll pay attention to this because it is a very pretty fish. And hopefully we'll get him in and you'll get to see him in a minute with the rig. And that's how you catch a fish. Oh wow. Just saying, George. Only a fully scaled.
I know, it looked decent that, mate, well done. I can't believe it's just happened, right? So we're going through, sorting out all of the end tackle, we've got the fish tank out. All I've done so far is be able to put a pop-up or a bottom bait onto a hair at the moment, and Neal's rod has absolutely bust off. He's caught himself what looks like an absolutely diamond fish. Like, it's a fully scaled mirror. So we're going to put all this to one side for a minute, get out what Neal's caught, have a good look at that, and then we'll go back to having a look at some of the products in the fish tank. There we have it. I've worked hard
£28 fully scaled, you're never gonna knock a fish that looks like this, are you? And I've actually fished how I used to fish, which is over a lot of larger pellet. And it seems to have worked. The bailiff came round, or the fishery manager came round and spoke with us. Said, there's fish coming out, but you need to work. So I've worked, and I've graced this £28 on the bank. So, very pleased. We'll get it back, get a couple more pictures while it's out. It's had a couple of little marks on it, probably from spawning, because they're little scrape marks rather than anything else. Treat that, and it can go back in the water, all happy. Done the worst for its little trip out. Now I guess we better go back with George and start doing what we're supposed to be doing, not catching fish, playing with terminal tackle.
Three, two, one.
Oh, I like that. Oh, look at that. Oh. No, look at that. It's like a little.
That's right, mate. That's right, don't worry.
Where's Pinky?
We've just had a good play of all the end tackle, gone through all the bits, tried it in the tank, and we've been trialling some solid bags. Them bags dissolve so quickly. This is lake water. We've literally just taken it straight out of the lake, put it straight in the tank. So it's now coming on end of August, so the water temperature's up a little bit, but nonetheless the bag just dissolved straight away. And one thing that we've noticed, looking in here with the new little leaders or stems, whatever you'd want to call them, we're yet to what kind of predetermine what that is. Even looking through the fish tank with gin clear water, it is nigh on invisible, and I can barely see it even with the naked eye, not let alone in a picture. It sits so well camouflaged to the bottom of the lake. It is absolutely incredible. So I'm really excited about those, and I think they're going to do really well. Also, you'll see the pellets doing really well. The little hook, the little kicker there, little rig just popped up nicely. I mean, that is going to do absolute wonders. But I'm really excited about that little, I don't know what I'd call it yet, Neil. What do you reckon?
We'll call it a leader.
We'll call it a leader at the moment, but it's not very long. It's about 6 to 8 inches. But yeah, some really exciting things to come. So now I've had a good go at having a good look and sample of all the things that arrived earlier this month. This afternoon now we're just going to get some food on. It's getting on a little bit, and I'm excited to try and capture one of these mid-Kent carp here at RG Fisheries. I've made up a couple of these rigs from the new end tackle range, so fingers crossed I can get my first bite on the new range of end tackle.
So we're making up some PVA bags of 10mm Pro Stim, because it's worked earlier to pick that fish off, so I will do it exactly the same thing again. Seems to be a bit of a forgotten thing. No one ever uses little PVA mesh bags anymore, which is good for me, obviously. So yeah, we'll make a few more up, get some rigs ready just in case, so we can have regular casting. And it is only just a very small handful. Probably no more than 10 boilies, 15 boilies in there. Tiny little 10mm thick.
I just finished up with Neal, going through all the new bits of terminal tackle, and I've tied myself up with the new components, a little D-rig, little orange wafter on there, and I'm going to ship this out in my baiting pole. So we're there, we've got 25-pound fluoro hook link, one of the new size 4 like chod style hooks, and then we've got our micro ring swivel on there in a matte black, and then we've got these new anti-tangle sleeves, and I absolutely love these. I've trimmed a little bit down on it. The rubber on them is super grippy, so it's not coming off the quick release clip, but it went over really nice and easy, and it's got a bit of a like a black fleck to it, so it's translucent, kind of browny green with a black fleck, and that looks absolutely amazing, especially up against that fluoro hook link. So I'm going to put that in my little baiting pole along with a good handful of boilies. So let's put them in as well, a few mulched up ones in there, and I'm going to put this out to some lily pads just down my margin. With those as well, a good handful pellet over the top, and then just to finish it up, a little bit of oil. It's that time of year where I like to use a little bit of oil in my mix, let that soak into the baits. Perfect. A couple more boilies for good measure in there, a few extra mulched up ones, and there we have it. Let's ship that out in and amongst the pads down there, and you never know, fingers crossed, I could be catching my first ever carp on some club carp terminal tackle. Ready? Not sure. He said we could use it.
Not sure, right. Just get the boat sorted first, I would, George. I think that may be off now. Yep. There's nothing moving on there now, unless he's settled right down and coming up with mate. Oh no, it's still on there. Oh, oh my God, that's a big fucking fish. Oh no, 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 no. That's right, just leave it there for a sec, George, I'm fine. Bring the net round, I'll be all right here. I reckon I can net it here. I might be, oh, it's coming your way. Playing silly buggers. Not the conventional way of fishing. I hate to tell you this. Right, it's here. No, 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 no. Oh, my, oh yes, 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 yes. If you want to.
Yes, mate.
That's
Well done, Neal.
salmon scoop.
That wasn't a salmon scoop. That was a quality bit of netting I have, you know.
That's an upper 20, isn't it? I reckon it's about the same as the other one, yeah? Upper 20?
Right.
Bloody hell. Sorry, Sam, I didn't really give you much. Apart from going, get out of the way, you. If this goes, you'll get one in the face. Good. This is my I tripped over the pole that I told everyone else not to trip over. What a wally.
Right, let's get
Well, we just finished doing the last bits, just about to start cooking dinner, and my rod's gone off. And you may well see what a battle it was, as I've run round like a loony to get on the bridge to try and pull it out the pads. When I thought it had gone, it actually flipped itself clear and cleared the line, cleared a few lily pads, and it came out. So I wouldn't say it's the authentic way of landing a carp or the prettiest, but I think this isn't a bad fish. So we'll tell in a little while when we reveal it. I'm happy with 38. You happy with 38?
I'm happy with 38. Yes, mate. PB. I don't believe it.
34 and a half.
34 and a half. Last week was out filming with Matt at Norton Disney, and on camera Matt managed a new PB. Next week, or this week now, Neal has just done exactly that and absolutely smashed it with 38 pounds. So
It's been a long time coming.
yes, come on Neal. Right, let's get some good pictures and a bit of video.
Well, as George said, I've done all right. My PB has sat, I'm trying to work out, it's got to be over 20 years now. No matter what I do, I'm the man of the 20s. I missed the 24 pounder. Earlier on, we had a 28, and now I'm glad to say this is just around the 35 pound mark. So very, very pleased. It's given us a right run around. As I said earlier, we went through pads, back out pads, back in pads. I ran, which I don't do. Ended up fishing off of a bridge to get him back. Just as I thought he'd gone, he flipped himself out of the pads and we've landed him. I'm very, very happy. We tried a couple of rigs up earlier, and it was more of a tentative thing to use it to see what we thought, how it presented. But it actually presents pretty well now, so we'll stick with it and we'll carry on. Oh, well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Good morning. You join us on our final pack down at RG Fisheries. I've been very lucky in picking up a couple of fish yesterday that you may well see later on in the film. I'm a bit tired, got slightly wet and a bit breezy again last night, but most of my stuff's packed away, just the rods to bring in now. Can't thank Matt and Rich for looking after us on this complex. It's beautiful. If you haven't had a look at it, have a look at RG Fisheries, you'll love the place. We are impressed with some of the items we've got through the end tackle range. I'm not going to say we're going to use all of them. My fishing dictates I don't really use some of the bits and pieces, but again, we're going to try them in different venues, see how we come up. It did me okay yesterday, it caught me my new UK PB, so it obviously works. So we'll keep sticking with it and we'll keep you updated as we go. All it leaves me to do is reel in, pack the last couple of items away in the car, and then I'm off home. That's rather unexpected. We were just doing our final shot of the rods coming in, and one has absolutely taken off, and I literally mean taken off, because it's like a jet boat, this thing. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? So we'll try and steer it away again from those pads. These fish have got some power. Trying desperately not to pick the other rod up. I thought I'd hit that one when I heard an alarm go, and it wasn't until I looked over just saw the line picking up. Oh, it's going to headbutt the fucking bank then. Going round in circles. Hello, Meg. Come back, Wilson! One more for Neal. Right, we can reel that other rod in now.
What are you saying?
Miles off.
31.
That's 32.
Yeah. He looks like a 30. Yes, mate.
32. Well, you've got to take the weight off it, so it's 2.8 off. Just to make sure. I know you've got to go, sorry, sir.
He's all right. Sorry, Richard, but unfortunately, Sam's got higher priorities at the moment.
I'm going to say 32 rather than any extra bits. There's no point, is there?
Yeah, good work.
Right.
Just walking my bed chair and my bivvy down to the van, I look over and Neal is bent into another one of these fantastic carp. A great session for Neal, resulting in 3 carp, including a PB. So massive congratulations there, what a mate.
Thank you.
So next up, you'll see us testing terminal tackle at Runswater with a few other Club Carp members to put it through its paces. But for now, first impressions look absolutely fantastic. Big thanks to Rich and the guys at RG Fisheries for letting us fish for these last couple of days. I think Neal was definitely most appreciative. Unfortunately, it was a blank for me, so hopefully I'll be back again soon to be able to catch one of these fantastic carp. But please check out the website and also follow us on YouTube for more upcoming videos.